You've heard of billionaires, but have you ever wondered what a trillionaire's life looks like? Enter Princess Aminah, one of the world's wealthiest royals with a net worth that's so staggering it's hard to wrap your head around. From her fleet of private jets to her collection of priceless jewels, we're about to give you an exclusive peek into the opulent world of this mysterious trillionaire princess. Born in 1986, Princess Aminah was the cherished only daughter of Sultan Ibrahim Iskandar of Johor, a man with a cool $5.7 billion to his name. As you can imagine, growing up in a palace with a silver spoon firmly in her mouth was just the beginning for young Aminah. She had a childhood that most of us could only dream of, complete with the finest education money could buy at the swanky Australian International School in Singapore. But Aminah's life wasn't all about spending her daddy's money. Oh no, this driven princess had big plans of her own. At just 21, she launched her very own makeup brand, Lens the Royal Art of Beauty, using her own stunning face to promote the products. Talk about a girl boss. Of course, being a trillionaire princess isn't all work and no play. Aminah's always been a fan of sports and the arts, but as we'll soon see, her love life is where the real drama lies. Buckle up, because we're about to take a wild ride through the highs and lows of this one-of-a-kind royal's incredible life. The origin of opulence. As you might expect, Princess Aminah's early life was the stuff of fairy tales. Born into a family that basically prints money, little Aminah never had to worry about things like budgets or hand-me-downs. Nope, this lucky lady was handed the keys to the kingdom from day one. Her dad, Sultan Ibrahim Iskandar, wasn't just your average rich guy. He was sitting on a mind-boggling $5.7 billion fortune. That's the kind of cash that makes even the most extravagant wishes come true. Want a pony? Here's a stable full of them. Dreaming of a private island? Take your pick from a dozen. Growing up in this world of excess, Aminah didn't just dip her toes into the pool of luxury. She dove in head first. From the moment she could walk, she was rocking designer diapers and sipping formula from gold-plated bottles. Okay, maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but you get the idea. Her childhood wasn't spent in just any old mansion either. We're talking a legit palace, complete with servants, private chefs, and more rooms than most hotels. And when it came time for Aminah to hit the books, you better believe she wasn't slumming it at some run-of-the-mill public school. Instead, she jetted off to the ultra-exclusive Australian International School in Singapore, where tuition costs more than most people make in a year. Rubbing elbows with the offspring of the rich and famous, Aminah got a taste of the high life at an early age. But here's the thing, when you're born into this kind of wealth, it's easy to get used to it. For Aminah, this over-the-top lifestyle wasn't just normal, it was expected. From the finest clothes to the most expensive toys, she had it all handed to her on a silver platter. Of course, this upbringing wasn't just about material things. Being a princess comes with a certain set of expectations, and Aminah was groomed from an early age to carry herself with poise and grace. She learned how to navigate the complex world of high society, mastering the art of small talk and air kisses. But as glamorous as it all sounds, growing up in the spotlight can be tough. Every move Aminah made was scrutinized, every outfit dissected by the tabloids. It's no wonder that, as she grew older, she started to crave a little more privacy and autonomy. Still, there's no denying that Aminah's early life set the stage for the kind of opulence most of us can only dream of. With a bank account that would make even the most jaded billionaire blush, she had the world at her fingertips, and she was just getting started. So, what does a trillionaire princess do when she's ready to make her mark on the world? Launch her own beauty empire, naturally. But Aminah's path to entrepreneurial success was anything but ordinary. Building a beauty empire. But Aminah wasn't content to just sit back and enjoy the perks of being a princess. No, this ambitious young woman had her sights set on making a name for herself in the business world. And what better way to do that than by launching her very own beauty brand? Enter Lens the Royal Art of Beauty. At just 21 years old, Aminah took the cosmetics industry by storm with her luxurious line of makeup and skincare products. As you can imagine, having a literal princess as the face of the brand was a major selling point. I mean, who wouldn't want to feel like royalty while applying their lipstick? Aminah was no dummy when it came to marketing either. She knew that her royal status was a unique advantage, and she used it to the fullest. Every product was packaged in sleek, regal designs that practically screamed, "I'm fancy." And of course, Aminah herself was front and center in all the advertising, looking every inch the glamorous princess. But it wasn't just about slapping her face on some products and calling it a day. Aminah was deeply involved in the development process, hand-selecting the finest ingredients and formulas to ensure that her brand lived up to the hype. She even went so far as to test each and every product on her own flawless skin before giving it the royal seal of approval. Unsurprisingly, Lens, the Royal Art of Beauty, was an instant hit. Women across the globe clamored to get their hands on these must-have products, eager to experience a taste of the princess life for themselves. Sales skyrocketed, and before long, Aminah's little startup had grown into a full-fledged empire. Of course, running a successful business is never easy, even when you're a trillionaire. Aminah had to navigate the cutthroat world of the beauty industry, fending off rivals and copycats at every turn. But with her sharp business acumen and unshakable determination, she always managed to stay one step ahead of the game. As her brand continued to thrive, Aminah became a bona fide celebrity in her own right. She graced the covers of countless magazines, dished out beauty tips on talk shows, and even rubbed elbows with fellow entrepreneurs at exclusive industry events. Naturally, all this exposure only helped to boost sales even further. But for Aminah, it was never just about the money or the fame. She genuinely loved the world of beauty and took great pride in creating products that made women feel confident and empowered. In a way, Lens, the Royal Art of Beauty, was more than just a business. It was a reflection of Aminah's own values and aspirations. Still, as much as she loved her work, Aminah knew that there was more to life than just building a beauty empire. And as fate would have it, her personal life was about to take a turn that would rival even the most dramatic Hollywood love story. But before we get into all that juicy gossip, let's take a moment to marvel at what this incredible woman accomplished at such a young age. I don't know about you, but when I was 21, I was still trying to figure out how to do my own laundry without turning everything pink. Meanwhile, Aminah was out here creating a global brand and changing the face of the beauty industry as we know it. If that's not the definition of a girl boss, I don't know what is. So how does a trillionaire princess top the success of her own beauty empire? By falling head over heels in love with a mystery man, of course. But as we'll soon see, Aminah's road to happily ever after was anything but smooth. A billionaire's love story. So you thought Aminah's life was all work and no play? Think again. As it turns out, this trillionaire princess was about to embark on a romance straight out of a fairy tale. Enter Dennis Mohammed Abdullah, the man who would steal Aminah's heart and change her life forever. Now, you might be wondering how a princess ends up falling for a regular guy. Well, believe it or not, their love story started in the most ordinary of places, a cafe. Yep, no fancy balls or royal galas here. Just two people, a cup of coffee, and a spark that would ignite a love for the ages. At the time, Dennis was working as the marketing manager of Tampines Rovers Football Club. He was a former semi-pro footballer himself, but he'd hung up his cleats to pursue a career in the business world. Little did he know that a chance encounter with a mystery woman would lead him down a path he never could have imagined. For 3 years, Aminah and Dennis kept their romance under wraps. They went on secret dates, exchanged love letters, and fell head over heels for each other. But here's the kicker. Dennis had no idea that his girlfriend was actually a princess. Can you imagine his surprise when he finally found out? Of course, falling in love with a royal comes with its fair share of complications. For starters, Dennis had to convert to Islam and shed his birth name in favor of a more traditional moniker. But his love for Aminah was stronger than any obstacle, and he embraced his new identity with open arms. When the time finally came for the couple to tie the knot, they didn't hold back. Their wedding was a lavish affair, steeped in traditional customs and attended by thousands of guests. Aminah looked every inch the blushing bride in her stunning gown, while Dennis cut a dashing figure in his royal attire. The ceremony itself was a sight to behold. Held at the breathtaking Astana Bukit Serene, it featured all the pomp and circumstance you'd expect from a royal wedding. There were heartfelt speeches, tearful vows, and a palpable sense of love and joy that filled the air. But it wasn't just the couple who was swept up in the romance of it all. The public couldn't get enough of this real-life fairy tale, and the wedding was broadcast live across the state capital. People from all walks of life tuned in to watch as Aminah and Dennis declared their love for all the world to see. Of course, no royal wedding would be complete without a few grand gestures. Dennis presented Aminah with a traditional dowry, while she surprised him with a few meaningful gifts of her own. But perhaps the most touching moment came when Dennis recited a poem he'd written just for his bride. There wasn't a dry eye in the house as he poured his heart out on paper. As the couple embarked on their new life together, it was clear that they were in it for the long haul. Dennis continued to excel in the world of real estate and investments, while Aminah expanded her business ventures into everything from telecommunications to sports management. They may have come from different worlds, but together they were unstoppable. Aminah's love story may have started in a cafe, but these days she's living a life far beyond the wildest dreams of most. She's not just a savvy businesswoman or a beloved public figure. She's a woman who found true love and held onto it with both hands. And while most of us can only imagine what it's like to live in her world of trillionaire excess, we can all take a page from her book when it comes to following our hearts. But hey, speaking of excess, you won't believe some of the jaw-dropping possessions Aminah's got stashed away in her royal treasury. We're talking jewels that would make Elizabeth Taylor blush and estates that put Versailles to shame. And don't even get me started on her one-of-a-kind collectibles. Let's just say, if you thought a Beanie Baby collection was impressive, you ain't seen nothing yet. Pinnacle of possessions. So you thought Aminah's love story was the stuff of legends? Wait until you get a load of her jaw-dropping collection of luxuries. I'm talking about possessions that would make even the most seasoned billionaire green with envy. First up, let's talk about the bling. Aminah's jewelry box is like a treasure chest on steroids. She's got diamonds the size of golf balls, rubies that could blind you with their sparkle, and emeralds so green they put the Emerald City to shame. And that's just for starters. Her collection of rare gems is worth more than the GDP of some small countries. I wouldn't be surprised if she has a team of armed guards just to watch over her earrings. But it's not just about the jewels. Aminah's got real estate that would make a sultan swoon. Her private island in the Maldives is like something out of a postcard, with crystal clear waters and white sandy beaches as far as the eye can see. And her mountain chalet in the Swiss Alps? Let's just say it makes the average ski lodge look like a rustic cabin. Of course, no trillionaire's collection would be complete without a few one-of-a-kind items. Aminah's got a vintage Rolls-Royce that was custom-built for a Hollywood starlet back in the 1950s. The interior is lined with real mink fur, and the hubcaps are encrusted with diamonds. Because why not, right? And then there's her art collection. Aminah's got paintings by some of the most famous artists in history, from Picasso to Monet. But her real pride and joy, a sculpture made entirely out of rare colored diamonds. It's said to be worth more than most people will earn in a lifetime, but perhaps the most impressive thing about Aminah's possessions is the way she uses them. She's not content to just let them gather dust in some museum. No, she actually enjoys them on a daily basis. She'll wear a different set of jewels for every outfit, take her vintage cars out for a spin on the weekends, and host lavish parties at her estates just because she can. It's a lifestyle that most of us can only dream of, but for Aminah, it's just another day in the life of a trillionaire princess. And speaking of her daily life, you won't believe some of the ridiculously extravagant experiences that make up her regular routine. Lifestyle of the ultra-rich. I mean, can you even fathom what it's like to wake up every day as Princess Aminah? For starters, forget about hitting the snooze button on your alarm clock. Aminah's got a team of personal assistants who gently rouse her from slumber with a serenade from a world-renowned harpist. And don't even get me started on her breakfast spread. We're talking caviar omelets, gold-dusted croissants, and a mimosa bar that would put most five-star hotels to shame. But the extravagance doesn't stop there. Aminah's got a wardrobe that would make even the most fashion-obsessed influencer weep with envy. She's got a different designer outfit for every hour of the day, and a glam squad on call 24/7 to make sure she's always looking her best. And when it comes time to hit the town, you better believe she's rolling up in style. Her fleet of luxury cars includes everything from a custom Bugatti to a vintage Aston Martin, all chauffeured by a team of highly trained drivers. Of course, even a trillionaire princess needs her downtime, but for Aminah, relaxation looks a little different than it does for the rest of us. She's got a private spa at her disposal, complete with gold-infused facials and diamond dust body scrubs. And when she's in the mood for a little adventure, she's got her pick of the most exclusive experiences money can buy. We're talking private concerts from A-list musicians, VIP access to the hottest events, and even a personalized fireworks show on her birthday. But perhaps the most jaw-dropping aspect of Aminah's lifestyle is the way she gives back. She's not content to just hoard her wealth, she's determined to make a difference in the world. She's a major philanthropist, donating millions to charities and causes close to her heart. And when disaster strikes, she's often one of the first to step up and offer aid. After a devastating earthquake hit a neighboring country, Aminah personally funded the rebuilding of an entire village, complete with state-of-the-art schools and hospitals. It's a life that most of us can only dream of, but for Aminah, it's just another day in her dazzling, diamond-encrusted world. And speaking of dazzling destinations, you won't believe some of the out-of-this-world locations that make up her regular vacation rotation. We're talking private islands, ski chalets, and resorts so exclusive, you need a special invitation just to book a room. Exclusive destinations. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to jet off to some of the most exclusive destinations on the planet with our girl Aminah. And trust me, these aren't your average vacation spots. No, no, no. We're talking private islands, ski chalets that put the Swiss Alps to shame, and resorts so luxurious you'll feel like royalty just stepping foot on the property. First up on Aminah's travel itinerary, her very own slice of paradise in the Maldives. This isn't just any old island, mind you. It's a sprawling 150-acre oasis with pristine white sand beaches, crystal clear turquoise waters, and a staff of over 100 dedicated to catering to her every whim. And when I say every whim, I mean it. Want a midnight snack flown in from Paris? Done. Need a private yoga session on the beach at sunrise? Consider it handled. But Aminah's not just a beach bum. Oh no, she's a woman of many tastes. And when the winter months roll around, you can bet she's hitting the slopes in style. Her chalet in Courchevel is the stuff of legend, with its own private ski lift, an indoor pool that puts Olympic size to shame, and a wine cellar that would make a sommelier weep with joy. And let's not forget the views. Aminah's perched high above the mere mortals, with a panoramic vista of the French Alps that'll take your breath away. Of course, even a princess needs a little R&R every now and then. And when Aminah wants to unwind, she heads straight to the one and only Rithi Ra in the Maldives. This ultra-exclusive resort is like something out of a dream, with overwater bungalows that seem to float above the crystal-clear lagoon and a spa that's been voted the best in the world more times than you can count. And did I mention the food? Michelin-starred chefs from around the globe flock to this place just to whip up dishes fit for a queen. But Aminah's not content to just lounge around all day. No, she's a woman of action, and when she's feeling adventurous, she'll hop on her private jet and head to the most remote corners of the globe. Like the time she went heli-skiing in the Himalayas, or the time she went deep-sea diving in the Great Barrier Reef. For Aminah, the world is her oyster, and she's not afraid to crack it open and savor every last bite. As you can imagine, these aren't your typical tourist traps. No, these are the kind of places that mere mortals can only dream of. But for Aminah, it's just another day in the life of a trillionaire princess. And while most of us can only experience these destinations through Instagram posts and travel magazines, Aminah's living it up in real time 24/7. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does she afford all of this? Well, my friends, that's where things get really interesting. You see, Aminah's not just a jet setter, she's a savvy businesswoman with a financial empire that would make Warren Buffett blush. And with her husband by her side, she's been expanding her portfolio in ways that are nothing short of mind-blowing, sustaining the splendor. So you're probably wondering, how does Aminah keep this extravagant show on the road? I mean, even a trillionaire gotta keep the cash flowing, right? Well, buckle up, because the princess has got some seriously savvy business moves up her sleeve. For starters, Aminah's not just sitting pretty on her royal inheritance. No way. She's out there hustling, building an empire that would make even the shrewdest Wall Street tycoon sit up and take notice. Her beauty brand, Lens, the Royal Art of Beauty? Yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Aminah's got her perfectly manicured fingers in all sorts of pies. Telecommunications, sports management, real estate. You name it, she's probably got a stake in it. And let's not forget about that KFC franchise. I mean, who wouldn't want to chow down on a bucket of the Colonel's finest, knowing it's got the princess's seal of approval? But Aminah's not just a solo act, oh no, she's got a partner in crime and his name is Dennis. Together, they're like the Bonnie and Clyde of the business world, only without all the, crime. Dennis has been crushing it in the real estate game, scooping up properties left and right and turning them into gold mines. And with Aminah's keen eye for investment opportunities, these two are an unstoppable force. Of course, it's not all about the Benjamins for Aminah. She's got a heart as big as her bank account, and she's not afraid to use it. When she's not busy building her empire, you can find her getting her hands dirty, well, maybe not literally, with all sorts of charitable causes. From supporting cancer research to helping kids with disabilities, Aminah's always looking for ways to give back. And the people of Jaw, they love her for it. She's not just their princess, she's their darling. Everywhere she goes, she's greeted with cheers and adoration. It's like she's got the whole country wrapped around her little finger. But here's the thing, Aminah's influence doesn't stop at the border. Oh no, she's making waves on the international stage too. Her philanthropy has earned her some serious street cred with the global elite. I'm talking invitations to exclusive galas, rubbing elbows with world leaders, the whole 9 yards. It's like Aminah's got the Midas touch. Everything she touches turns to gold, literally and figuratively, and with her sharp business acumen and her heart of gold, there's no telling how far she'll go. But here's what I'm really curious about. With all this success, with all this adoration, with all this money, what does a trillionaire princess like Aminah really want out of life? Philanthropy and public image. Is Aminah's life all glitz, glamour and jet-setting around the globe? Well, not exactly. You see, this princess has got a heart of gold to match her glittering lifestyle. When she's not busy expanding her business empire or rubbing elbows with the global elite, Aminah is out there making a real difference in the world. Cancer research, children with disabilities, disaster relief, you name it, Aminah's probably got her fingers in it. And we're not talking about just writing a check and calling it a day. No, this trillionaire princess is rolling up her sleeves and getting personally involved. After that devastating earthquake hit the neighboring country, Aminah didn't just send thoughts and prayers. She hopped on her private jet, flew straight to the hardest hit areas, and started rebuilding homes with her own 2 hands. Okay, maybe she had a little help from her staff, but still, the point is, Aminah's not afraid to get her hands dirty when it comes to helping others. And the people of Jaw, they absolutely adore her for it. She's not just some untouchable figure in a palace somewhere. She's out there in the streets, listening to their problems, offering solutions, and just generally being a beacon of hope in a world that can sometimes feel pretty dark. But Aminah's influence doesn't stop at the border. Her philanthropy has earned her some serious respect on the international stage too. World leaders, CEOs, celebrities, they're all clamoring to work with her on the next big charitable initiative. It's like she's got this magnetic force field of goodwill around her, drawing in anyone who wants to make a positive impact. Of course, it doesn't hurt that she's got the wealth and resources to back up her big ideas. When Aminah sets her mind to something, whether it's building a state-of-the-art hospital or launching a global education initiative, you can bet it's going to get done, and done right. But here's the thing about Aminah's philanthropy. It's not just some PR stunt or tax write-off. It's a genuine reflection of who she is as a person. She's got this unwavering belief that with great power comes great responsibility, and she's determined to use her privilege for good. And the crazy part, she makes it look so effortless. Like, how does she find the time to run a billion-dollar business, jet off to exclusive destinations, and save the world on the side? It's enough to make mere mortals like us feel a little inadequate. But that's just the magic of Aminah. She's got this way of inspiring people, of making them believe that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. And who knows, maybe one day, with a little bit of that Aminah magic, we'll all be out there changing the world in our own small or not so small ways. Can you imagine what a day in the life of Princess Aminah must be like? waking up in a palace, being waited on hand and foot, jetting off to exotic locations at a moment's notice. It's the stuff of fairy tales, really, but what's it like to actually walk a mile or 100 miles in her designer shoes, envisioning trillionaire tranquility? Close your eyes for a moment and step into the world of Aminah, the trillionaire princess, a world where luxury knows no bounds and every whim is catered to with effortless ease. As the first rays of sunlight peek through the silk curtains of her palatial bedroom, Aminah stretches languidly, her diamond-encrusted sleep mask still in place. Her personal butler, always at the ready, gently removes the mask and presents her with a freshly brewed cup of kopi luwak, the most expensive coffee in the world. After savoring every sip, Aminah glides to her expansive walk-in closet, where rows upon rows of designer clothing and accessories await her discerning eye. Will it be the custom Chanel suit for her morning meeting or the flowing Ili Saab gown for her afternoon tea with visiting dignitaries? Decisions, decisions. With her outfit selected, Aminah heads to her private spa for a little pre-meeting pampering. A team of world-renowned beauty experts descends upon her, offering everything from diamond-infused facials to 24-karat gold body wraps. As you can imagine, for Aminah, this is just a typical Tuesday, but her day is just getting started. After her meeting, where she casually inks a multi-billion-dollar deal, Aminah hops into her chauffeured Rolls-Royce and heads to the airport. Her destination? A private island in the Caribbean, naturally. As she settles into her plush seat on her personal jet, Aminah glances at her itinerary: scuba diving in crystal-clear waters, a sunset yacht cruise, and a private beachside dinner prepared by a Michelin-starred chef. Just another day in paradise. Of course, even in the midst of all this luxury, Aminah never forgets her philanthropic duties. Between sips of champagne, she takes a call from one of her charity foundations, discussing plans for a new school in an underprivileged area. It's a delicate balance, but one that Aminah navigates with grace and aplomb. As the sun sets over the turquoise waters of the Caribbean, Aminah reflects on her day. The meetings, the pampering, the extravagant meals, it's all par for the course when you're a trillionaire princess. But what really brings her joy is knowing that she's making a difference in the world, one charitable act at a time. And so, as she drifts off to sleep in her overwater bungalow, serenaded by the gentle lapping of the waves, Aminah dreams of all the good she'll do tomorrow. Because when you have the means to make the impossible possible, every day is an opportunity to create a little more magic in the world. Sure, from the outside looking in, Aminah's life may seem like an unattainable fantasy. The glitz, the glamour, the endless parade of luxury, it's enough to make anyone green with envy. But beneath all the trappings of wealth lies a woman with a heart of gold, determined to use her privilege for the greater good. So the next time you find yourself daydreaming about what it might be like to walk a day in Aminah's shoes, remember this: true fulfillment comes not from the size of your bank account, but from the depth of your impact on the world around you. And in that regard, we could all stand to be a little more like the trillionaire princess.